Welcome to Pot of Thunder, the recognized symbol of excellence in rock and roll podcasting, brought to you by Blue Microphones. They look great. They sound even better. And guess who it is?
Here's my buddy Andy.
That's right. It's your buddy Andy, America's little brother. And as always, I'm joined by Gnarly Nick. The man with the golden urethra. We'll get into that later. There's a reason we said that today. You wait. That's a little teaser for a moment later into the show. Over there on the couch. You want him. We got him. There he is.
I think we need a gunslinger. Somebody tough to tame this town. I think we need a gunslinger. There'll be justice all around.
It's the breakout star of the podcast medium. Put your hands together for Chris Hell. There he is.
Succumb to my power, my age, and my weight.
Yes, indeed. And, oh, wait a minute. There's a fourth guy. Guess who it is? Oh, they're having a bad month.
When you're down in the dumps and you need something to bring you.
That's how high up. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Jericho's back. Welcome back. There he is.
Thank you.
No auto-tune used in that.
No. So,
Oh, yeah.
so thank you for coming back. We're glad to have you.
Always a pleasure. It seems like whenever I'm in Jacksonville with a day off, you guys are my go-to guys. You guys are like a booty call, but for podcasting. Whenever I have an opening spot,
My
I give you a
God,
call.
what's happened to your life? My God. Jesus. Well, this is a significant day in the history of our four-man relationship here, is it not?
It
the
is.
day we're recording, not the day the episode is released.
That's right. It's September 24th, and 4 years ago on this very day was the first time we did a podcast together. So how about that?
Wow.
Congratulations.
4-year anniversary. That's crazy.
And how many episodes is that? Probably 11 or 12 at this point?
More than that.
It's like
right?
17
This
or
is
something.
this
right?
is 18.
18?
Jeez.
And then we did two of yours. So if we count those, 20 times.
podcasts in 4 years. That's an average of 5 per year.
That's pretty good. That's very
Listen,
good.
whether the people want it or not, we're giving it to you. We're giving it to you basically every second month. You're getting the 4 rock and roll boners shoved down your throat, whether you like it or not.
And it's never been easier to ignore programming. If you don't like it, just don't download it. Don't click on it. Easy.
I think everybody likes it. I
I
think
think so, too. But
I wouldn't
Let me
say
ask
that's
you
the
this.
sensible
When you guys-
option, but sure.
When you guys look at your numbers and stuff, have they stayed the same as when it was all Kiss? Now that you do the random song every week, does it go up and down?
it goes up and down, but it's slowly gone up the whole time, if that makes sense. So if you looked at it from a 7-year stretch, it would be a constant up arrow. But, we get ups and downs depending on what the song is and what the artist is now versus when it was just Kiss, where it was sort of the same.
we're kind of like the stock market in that regard. Ups and downs, but over the years, it's a good long-term play for your entertainment.
Not quite a bull market, but
No, you're not going to get rich investing in this market, but it does continually go higher historically.
But you guys,
been the case.
you guys have tons of sponsors now. It's like you got a bunch of them on there.
Yeah, we're raking it in. I was going to say 4 years.
In fact,
Literally.
we've actually started chiseling away at your dad's debt that you referenced on the Aerosmith episode that we did with you on your show. So
I don't remember that line.
yeah,
Okay.
We did that so long ago. That was done the night before the AEW pay-per-view where I lost the title, which was only about 2 weeks before the actual pandemic shutdown. So
It was the night
that-
of. It was immediately
afterwards, yeah.
the Revolution
Oh.
pay-per-view. It was the night
Okay.
of. Yeah. Yep.
after your devastating defeat, you sank even lower, crossing the street to your hotel room to hang out with us for
the whole country
several
went
hours.
down with you.
Yeah,
That's
really.
the thing. When I lost the title, all this shit started. So they should
all
have just kept the
Moxley's
title on me.
fault.
What are you worrying about right now?
It's true. It's kind of funny listening back to that Aerosmith episode. We kind of reference coronavirus a few times, not really knowing what it was or what impact it would have. Like, because, it was, I guess it was early morning of March 1st. So we're kind of like talking about it and like, oh, it's this crazy thing in China.
And March 11th was when they shut down. Like that was our last live show. We were in Salt Lake City, and I remember we were hoping to make it to March 25th. We had a big show in Newark, New Jersey, at the Prudential Center, and we had sold 15,000 tickets for it. And we were supposed to have a really big match. It was a big cage match.
Was that the Blood and Guts thing?
Blood and Guts.
Okay.
Yeah. And if we can only make it to the 25th. And before I went to the ring on March 11th, it was right before it was the last match. So we went to the ring at like 9:40, and it's like we think we're going to make it. Next week Rochester's still on, and the week after that, I think we're going to make it. I went to the ring at 9:40. I came back at 10 o'clock when the match was done. In that time frame, the NBA had shut down. Tom Hanks had corona, and Newark and Rochester were canceled. Done. See you later.
Wow, devastating, crazy times.
But here, this is why we're here,
to
make happy times for everybody listening.
And speaking of happy times, it's an anniversary, like we said. 4 years in, I think year one is paper. There's like a gift that goes with, maybe 50 is diamond. I don't know what they are. But I looked it up, and
look it up, okay.
4 year is liquid. So everyone, open up a can of...
Total fucking Duclaw.
There you go. Happy anniversary to everybody.
That's got to be marketed. Yeah, he's got one.
There he is. Yep. There it is.
I'm hiding the white. So it is the little fucking Duclaw.
So one more quick thing before we get on to your song. I mentioned that Nick, I don't know what he's drinking over there. He might have some kind of...
It's water.
Oh, I thought it might
as
have been...
much water as possible these days.
There you go. Nick is the man with the golden urethra. Why is that, Nick? Tell us what happened.
So this past Monday... I wake up with I'm just going to say it, burning sensation in my urethra. And go to the doctor. I'm like, I don't know what this would be. Do I have an infection of some sort? What's going on? They said, I don't know. Here's a cup. We need a sample. Stone comes out immediately.
At the doctor.
Into the cup. I had no indication that this happened.
How is that possible? Is my question now. I will address it more as you get into the story, but go ahead. I'm just in disbelief of that.
So that's
like those women you hear about that never knew they were pregnant. Suddenly they give birth to a fucking baby. It's like, how did you not... Go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, that's basically it. But then a couple days later, I had kind of some residual kidney pain. Turns out nothing else is going on, so I don't know. I don't understand it.
So he just rifled out a stone without feeling anything.
No pain.
Nothing.
Tooge, have you ever had a kidney stone?
I have never had a kidney stone, but like you said, the people that do usually know.
Yeah. I had one.
You like waiting for the pee to come out, and suddenly the thing just goes dink, and it goes dink.
But that's the least painful part of it. I had one several summers ago. It actually started to kick in toward the tail end of the Def Leppard concert I was at on the street. And I started feeling this discomfort, and I was just like, probably that shitty hot dog I ate, during Tesla's set. And thank God it didn't kick in fully until I got home, because to have what happened to me in that venue would have been a nightmare. But I got home, 15 minutes into it, I was on the floor in pain. And this is the worst part of it is when it goes from your kidney to your bladder, like days before you even pass it. So how this guy felt nothing until it came out is unbelievable to me. The threshold of pain on this guy.
It's so funny, too, because the original title of Rocket and the original lyrics was called Kidney Stone. Kidney Stone, you gotta beat it out.
Mutt Lang sent Joe Elliott home for a few weeks to work happy on that.
Yeah. Joe had this idea, and he's like, you can't come in here with that, or whatever he sounds like.
I had a rolling kidney stone. I don't know.
Now, when it came out...
Here's an invitation of Nick going pee the other day.
That's good.
Well, there is actual surveillance audio if you guys want to hear it.
So it did hurt a little when it came out, maybe. Nick got audio, so here we go. Let's hear this.
That was more out of surprise than anything else, though.
Yeah, I'll bet.
What was that?
Some chunk comes out of your penis.
And it just goes to show you that audio, everywhere you go, you're being surveilled, filmed, recorded. You can't get away with anything these days.
Yeah.
I did a podcast yesterday with a friend of mine, and we needed a camera for the Zoom session. And he said, "Well, we need a camera." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, I got to set up my my extra camera. So why don't you just use your computer camera?" He said, "My daughter has taped it over because she's paranoid about being watched."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Wow, that's interesting."
Yeah, I've heard of that. I've seen people who have like these tape seems easier, but it's like a little rubber U-shaped thing that goes over the
Put it
top
over
of the
top
laptop.
thing,
Yeah.
Right.
Who knows?
Interesting.
I feel like at this point, you could try your best. You're public knowledge, pretty much whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
So just live your life accordingly.
I remember years ago they were talking about, people are listening to you on the phone. I couldn't imagine the amount of storage space they would need and how bored someone would be if they were going to be like raking through all this stuff.
It would have to be 1-to-1. Like one person is working for every other person.
It doesn't seem possible.
And then when those people are off, the other people are listening to them.
Good point. That's right. Yeah.
And if you're surveilling me through my laptop and you're watching me at my worst, most embarrassing moment, and you're still watching, that's your problem, not mine. I mean, if you're going to endure that, you're the sick one, not me.
There's a masochism that you need to
That's
have addressed.
Yeah.
So why is he facing the other way and looking back between his legs at the laptop?
Exactly.
No pants on.
And screaming.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So, like we said, it's your turn. We're going to bypass the listener submission list this week.
Well, I'm a listener.
Right.
It's still
That's
a listener
true.
submission. It's my submission.
Yes.
And for all we know, we don't know what the song is. For all we know, it's on there. We might cross-reference it if we feel like it. Probably won't, but
Now, do I announce the song first and then speak of the background of why I chose it?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, perfect.
So what's the order this one is called? This one comes off. It's called by the band.
I believe that's correct.
Yeah. So
album, song, artist.
Album, song, artist. You have to do the live introduction.
All right.
And fill in the blanks.
Call and response with yourself.
Yep.
Basically.
I'm nervous. I'm going to fuck it up, but I'll try.
This is kind of like that Hank Williams Jr. There's a Tear in My Beer video where he's singing with Hank Sr. They had the footage.
It's like Back to the Future when Marty McFly runs into himself.
Yeah.
There you go.
So that's
They called that a paradox, I believe, in the movie. I hope that doesn't happen here.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
All right. Well, you go for it. Do the whole thing. Well, I'm not going to play the clip. You just do the whole deal live.
Oh, no clip.
No, because I'm afraid that the timing's not going to work. So you just say, this one comes off. It's called by the band, and you fill in the blanks for us that we don't know.
Yeah, it's a song.
No,
It's the
album, song, band.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right,
Yep.
Are you ready?
Yep.
All right, Hamill. From the album Under Heaven, Over Hell. Hold on, I fucked it up. It's album, then song, right?
Yep.
All right, here we try again. All right, Hamill. From the album Under Heaven, Over Hell. The song Under My Thumb. And the artist is Streetheart.
Streetheart. So here's what I can tell you about Streetheart. I've heard the name 1,000 times. I don't know that I've heard any of their music, but I know they're Canadian.
Yes.
I know they were very popular in Canada, but did they make it in the States for a period or not really?
No. This is one of those bands, like we played Kick Axe before, which were big in Canada for a short period of time, a little bit in the States. Streetheart was big in Canada for about 10 years. Streetheart was the original Loverboy. Paul Dean and Matt Frenette
Really?
started Streetheart, yes.
Okay,
then they
now
got
I'm
into an
intrigued.
argument, they fucked off and formed Loverboy. So
Now I'm intrigued.
Streetheart is almost like a better version of Loverboy. Same type of music, same type of vibe. And in Canada to this day, they still play. Streetheart probably legit has about 10 hits in Canada that everybody from my generation knows.
Wow.
So they were at it for 10 years prior to Loverboy coming about?
I don't know how long they were together, but the first Streetheart album came out before the first Loverboy album. That's the one that Paul Dean was on.
Oh,
and then he
got
left
it.
to form
Okay.
Loverboy.
So they were carrying on in parallel to Loverboy.
Exactly. So this song, Under My Thumb, is a cover of the Stones tune.
Okay.
But it's a much funkier version. This is from 1979, so it's not I Was Made for Loving You, but it's almost like a Miss You type vibe. It's a little not disco because I don't even think disco, but it's got more of a dance vibe to it. And it was a big hit in Canada. And Keith Richards has actually gone on record as saying that this is the best cover of a Stones song that he's heard was Under My Thumb by Streetheart.
That's very cool. Okay.
And now this features the lineup with Paul Dean and Matt Frenette, correct? Or?
No, they're not on this one. This is the one afterwards.
Got it. Okay.
So this is 1979.
1979, huge band in Canada. The singer Kenny Shields is like a Canadian hero. He passed away a couple of years ago. Streetheart still tours with a new singer to keep the songs alive. So that's basically Streetheart in a nutshell. And they come from this era of Canadian rock where there was bands like Streetheart, Loverboy, Trooper, Harlequin, Prism, Kim Mitchell. All these bands you probably many have heard of before, but they're all really, really big in Canada all around this time frame.
Okay. What is that called? Pardon me for the ignorance, but there's that...
The law that you're thinking of?
Yeah.
I was just going to bring that up, too. There's that law where certain percentage of performers have to be Canadian or something like that. I forget what it's called.
There's a thing in Canada called the CTRC, or the CRTC, Canadian Record something, and it's basically called the Canadian Content Law.
Yeah.
Which means if you are a TV station or a radio station in Canada, you have to play a certain amount of Canadian music. So that's why a band like Streetheart, when you turn on a classic rock station in Winnipeg or Calgary or whatever, they're playing Streetheart up the ass because they have to play Canadian music anyways, and people love all these songs as well. So,
Okay.
So I feel good about it. I was going to go in a different direction, but I've been going through a little bit of a Streetheart kick, and I was talking to my Streetheart buddies, and we all listened to Pot of Thunder. I said, I'm going to bring out Under My Thumb. It's like, you got to do it, man. Spread the word of Streetheart.
We like new discoveries on this show. It makes for good episodes.
And I'll admit that I'm not familiar with them. I like the name of the band. That's as far as I am right now.
See, now, I'm familiar with Steelheart, the band of I'll Never Let You Go, with the unpronounceable name of the singer. It looks like some sort of Serbian fellow, Milechenko Macevic or something.
He's probably got a great nickname, though.
Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah, Mike. Right. In fact, didn't he...
One of the singers of...
he's about to say Steel Dragon for Rockstar. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Him and Miles Kennedy, right? Split it up? Or?
Well, yeah, Miles was in there too. Yeah,
Miles was in the movie, and I think he did some of the vocals, but the rest of them were done by the Steelheart guy. This is Streetheart.
Didn't what's his name do it too? Michael Starr, or was he just in the movie from Steel Panther?
He just walked past one of the guys.
He had like one because
Yeah.
his audition ended, and he walked by.
I just now realized that's who it was.
Yeah.
I never really put that two and two together.
Okay.
But I love the pedigree here. If you have a connection to Loverboy, you're all good in my book. I love them. Underrated. Get a bad rap. Get Lucky is a masterpiece. Loving every minute of it. We're huge fans here.
Let me give you one more little bit of trivia. But Loverboy was able to cross into the States because they had a big, high-powered manager called Bruce Allen, who was also Bryan Adams' manager.
There you go.
Streetheart's manager was the same guy that ripped off Kick-Axe and fucked Kick-Axe off.
Oh, really?
Streetheart had the same problem. And also, Streetheart was also tied in with Spencer Proffer, who also fucked Kick. So Kick-Axe and Streetheart are very similar, managed by the same, produced by the same, and both had the same fate, although Streetheart made it way bigger in Canada.
Okay. And what was that manager's name?
What's that, bud?
What was the manager's name?
Would you say?
Is Bruce Allen was the manager?
Gary.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Bruce Allen was Loverboy's.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's Gary Stratichuk was the Streetheart Kick-Axe guy.
Well, you know what they say about that guy.
Total waste of skin and life.
They should have blew out his fat ass the next time they went to Hawaii. That's what he deserved. Streetheart deserved way better than
Yeah.
what this jack-off did tonight.
Can you imagine that, though? If I mean, there's nothing you can do about it, and I'm sure these types of things happen to everybody in various cases and severity levels or whatever. But, like, if you have all the tools and you should make it, and there's one person who screwed something up and you don't make it, and then you live the rest of your life thinking about that, it's got to be the worst.
Especially when it's somebody that you trust to guide your career and they do the exact opposite and just kill it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like somebody in the band fucked up. It's their management. They managed them to fail. That's a terrible.
Yeah.
You know, it's like losing the fucking NHL final because the ref fucks up the call.
Yeah. It's not your fault. Nothing you did, but there's nothing you can do about it, and that's it forever. Could be your only chance, and that's it. So, poor Streetheart. But hey, we're gonna pay tribute to them today.
We still have the music, exactly.
Yeah.
And if you guys like the song, there's plenty of other great ones that they have. So
Okay. Well then, if you guys are ready to do it, that's too bad. It's not happening. We're not doing it. We're doing a commercial. And then when that's done, we'll do it. Okay, we're back. Here it is. Track 6, Under My Thumb. Here we go. Chris L's already smiling and bopping his head.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I'll tell you what, that's
song.
one of those rare drum intros. It's like, it's just killer, you know?
It's all you need.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need it to be a complicated arrangement, you know, like some rudiment thing.
Yeah.
Some big roll.
And, I mean, just passed away earlier this week, known for the iconic drum intro of Over the Mountain, Lee Kerslake.
Oh, right.
Correct. Yeah.
Just figured I'd bring it up there.
But this one is much simpler. That reminds me of the beginning of Working for the Weekend, where all you need is that dunk, 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 dunk.
Yeah.
And if you miss it, you have to rewind it to hear it again. Like, I'm not missing the intro.
Yeah.
And I right away got a bit of Easy as It Seems.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah. Like I wouldn't call Easy as It Seems a disco song, but it's definitely funky like this one.
And we all know how much I like Easy as It Seems.
Yeah.
I think I had the same reflexive response.
And your favorite Kiss cover of all time is that song. So,
Well, yes, by Retard in Boys Room, the iconic solo artist of. He's more mysterious than I am, so.
That's the best. All right. We only made it 3 seconds. Let's keep going.
that's all. Yeah.
Oh, cut it off with a little funky disco bass line kicking in.
Walking
But
the dog
they actually
there.
extended the instrumental part because longer than the original because the vocals kick in on the Stones version a little earlier than that, I believe.
Yeah, this is a much longer version. I believe it's 3 or 5 minutes or so, something like that. It is a real. That's why it's a really killer representation of this band, because there's a lot of great playing and soloing, and it's pretty cool.
Plus, if it's a dance version and it's intended for that, it would make sense that it's extended.
Yeah.
It's actually 6:39.
Good Christ. Wow.
A lot of
Getting
dancing.
into Dream Theater territory.
Yeah, it's a little, little extra time for you to fucking just get that little spoon up your nostril and get tuned up for the rest of it. This is definitely of the times. I love
And once
it.
again, too, like I mentioned, this was a big hit on the radio, not edited. 6 minutes and 39 seconds is what you got. How rare is that for a radio a programmer to allow that? And once again, shows the pull that Streetheart had back in that time frame.
Yeah.
It's like that and Bohemian Rhapsody. Those
Yeah,
are
Hey Jude,
the two
exactly.
long ones that were on the radio.
The classic story of Hey Jude, when somebody said it's too long, they'll never play it, and John Lennon said, "Of course they'll play it. It's the Beatles."
There you go.
There you go. Yeah. Can't argue with that.
love the kind of snotty, almost punk rock delivery of the vocals. And
Yeah, Kenny Shields had that vibe even when he was performing. Like you said, that's a good call. Very punk rock.
yeah, very Johnny Rotten kind of that. The sneering vocal delivery, kind of snotty. I guess is the better term for
Also,
it. But
noticing that keyboard. I mean, on the original, it almost seems like it's a xylophone, like dook, 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 dook,
Yeah.
dook. But this really keyboard sound. Like if you went and got your, Wurlitzer electric piano, you would hit, the samba
Streetheart
button,
button?
and it would be.
yeah, those things. Everybody had those in their living room back in the day.
Yeah.
With the
Everyone used to
paddles, you'd flip up and down to get the different instruments. It was like
Yeah.
the people congregated around that at family parties.
You're right. We had one at our house.
My uncle had one. He also had an above-ground pool. So he was kind of a trashy guy. And in fact, I think he's in prison at this point.
Oh, no.
I'm not even joking about that.
Do you know why?
Oh,
He killed somebody.
Okay.
I believe he killed his landlord, Eddie Murphy style.
Wow.
I'm not even joking about this.
Oh,
It was the family secret that came out once. I'm like, no way, Uncle Manuel's in prison. Damn.
Oh boy. Is he at that one prison that's got the above ground pool?
Could be, yes. Well, they have the portable basketball hoops out in the courtyard for rest and recreation time. So for him, it's like a federal prison club mat. He feels right at home there.
There's a leaky sandbag keeping it in place.
Exactly. Yes. A few of them are toppled over. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
The property value of that prison has gone straight into the toilet. But the other thing about this, and there's no way to not acknowledge it. The source material, the original Under My Thumb, the lyrics, and just the attitude of that song, it's a masterpiece. And
this is one of those songs. Like if it was any other '60s band, this would be their biggest song, and it'd be like all-time classic. To the Stones, it's just another of dozens and dozens and dozens of great songs. And it's funny, when I saw the Stones last year, they do a vote-in for every show where there's 5 songs you vote.
Right.
And Under My Thumb was on it, and I voted for it, and they played it. And it's Nick sings it like a snot too. He's very, great call on that. Like you said, they're like the Beatles, and there's so many great songs that Under My Thumb is probably number 30 on the list, which would be number 1 or 2 for most other bands.
Yeah, if this was your song, you could have a whole career based off of it. Like you could still be playing at rib fests and stuff. One guy from the original band, but
Exactly.
yeah.
little boogie woogie piano in there. Yeah. You know what this reminds me of? Growing up in Detroit, the second you turn 19, for the next 2 years, you spent all of your recreational time across the border in Windsor, because you could go over there and drink, go over there and party. All the best clubs had it was back in the day when a cover band did a residency. They'd play 4 hours a night. This reminds me of one of those bar bands that were great, and they would bust out a cover like this, and the whole place would just burst at the seams with energy.
You know, this is where I started realizing the reality of the rock and roll business, in that I finished high school at 17 because I was born in November. So you had to be 18 to go to wrestling school. Mm-hmm. So I met Jesse the Body Ventura on the street corner one day in Winnipeg. Randomly, it wasn't a grinder thing or anything. And he said, make sure you get something to fall back on if you want to go to wrestling. So I went to Red River College.
You actually listened. You weren't like, whatever, dude. You actually took his advice of having something to fall back on.
Yeah, I was too young to go anyway, so I had to kill some time, basically. Yeah. So I went and got a journalism degree. And
wait a minute, you have a journalism degree?
I do.
Yes, I do. Once again, we are long lost brothers. Somehow there's a genetic connection. That's what my degree is in. Yeah,
no kidding. That's
absolutely.
Awesome, And so it was a 2-year course. So the first year, when I was in my second year, a guy in the first year came in, and this is college. So there's 18-year-old kids like me, and there's 50-year-old men and everything in between.
Yeah.
And guy in the first year, because we kind of had lockers in the same area, I'm looking at him like, is that the fucking keyboard player from Streetheart? And I'm looking at him, and like I'm just like, fucking. You see this guy? He had really bad receding hairline, and Streetheart was a lot like the Scorpions. There was 3 or 4 guys going bald, which might have been another reason why they didn't make it. But I went up to him and I'm like, "Are you the keyboard player from Streetheart?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, what? I'm thinking like, fuck. Streetheart must all be millionaires. I mean, their songs on the radio all the time, and that was in the reality of the music business. I mean, you could even be in a big rock and roll band and still have to go back to fucking school to get a degree when it's all done.
Yeah, I mean, when I hear about like people who had quote unquote backup plans, and you hear these motivational speakers who are like, if you have a backup plan, all you're going to do is back up in your life, talking about like this go for broke attitude. And if you delve into the backgrounds of these people, they all had backup plans, or they were silver spoon people telling everybody else to just, go for broke, don't half-ass it or whatever. It's like, that's just the smart way to do it.
Yeah.
Well, and once again, like I said, when we're kids, you think if you see somebody in a video on TV, if you hear somebody on the radio, if you buy their record, if they have a record, you think that these guys have made it. They're huge. They're rock stars. And I remember just really thinking about like, holy shit, that quickly. He's this is 1989, and 10 years earlier they were fucking songs on the radio, and all the way to about 83, 84. So in that 6-year period, everything just fell apart, man.
It was time to go back to school, huh? Figure something else out.
Exactly.
Do you know whatever became of him?
Well, I don't know what they do now, but Streetheart kind of, I think they broke up. Typical story. They broke up for a while in the 90s and shit, and then they got back together. And they're one of those bands, they can tour Canada twice a year, play your town 2 times a year, and probably, they probably do 40 shows a year or something like that. But now that Kenny Shields passed away, I'm not sure what they do, but they were doing that circuit, man.
Now, were you just pouring a drink, or was Nick passing another kidney stone?
Kidney.
If I did, if I did, I might not have realized it. So, pardon me. What was that? Out. Oh, that was me. Sorry.
All right. Yeah, you just gotta love the upbeat disco funk treatment of this. But then you delve in. These are some of the darkest lyrics ever written. It's about a guy who was bested by a woman, and unlike Paul Stanley, who simply whines about it in song, this guy did whatever he did. He set up in motion a change of events, which gave him the upper hand. Mm-hmm. And he's not even being nice about it. Calling a squirmy dog who just had her day. Yeah. She's just changed her ways, meaning like suddenly he's become the dominant one. And it's not just your typical exchange of power. It's like this guy he really hates this woman, and he's just loving the fact that he's ruling her life at this point. But then the treatment of it, and even in the original with the bouncy xylophone and stuff, juxtaposed with these dark lyrics, it's brilliant. Yeah, that's cool.
Hey.
What, Nick?
Oh, no, I was just going to say that's...
I got them pulled up here. It's Under My Thumb, A Girl Who Once Had Me Down.
Yes.
Are we okay?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah. Give it to us. Under My Thumb, A Girl.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know if you... I thought you were talking. My
no.
Girl Who Once Had Me Down, Under My Thumb, oh yeah, A Girl Who Once Pushed Me. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's down to me. Oh, what I say, the difference in the clothes she wears to me. Here she comes under my thumb. And then here's Chris's favorite. Under my thumb, the squirming dog who's just had her day. Under my thumb, poor dog. Yeah, she just changed her ways.
Yeah, just he hates this woman. The protagonist of the song despises this woman. But
it's almost like I used to watch this show Nip Tuck. Did you guys ever watch that show?
No.
I never watched it. I heard of it, though.
Great show, but the one guy, he was just an asshole, and he's banging this chick for a while, and she's a little bit chubby, but he's just banging her like hate fuck or whatever. He makes her wear a paper bag.
Oh wow!
As he's banging, put the bag on, put it on. This is what Mick and Kenny Shields have taken control of this girl, this squirming dog. It's like put the bag on.
Just shaming someone.
Exactly.
Shaming.
Humiliation.
This is not an even keel individual we're talking about here.
Kind of a psycho.
Yeah.
Like kind of a Svengali sort of a thing.
Yeah. You know what that girl's best friend told her?
You guys deserve way better than this jerk-off did tonight. I'm sorry.
Close enough. You guys, whatever.
Yeah, when she got back with her girlfriends and they're exchanging stories, they're like, what are you doing? Get away from this guy. You deserve better.
Yep.
Oh, gosh. Speaking of the keyboard player, his name was Daryl. He's fucking just going nuts on this song. If you guys hear, besides the root and the boogie piano, he's got like this shit going all over the place. I usually don't notice keyboards being that prominent in this tune, but man, he's throwing it down.
Yeah, he's staying busy.
Daryl is the spotlight of this tune.
Definitely.
So far,
Daryl's
there's
moment.
a surprise. There's a surprise.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, nothing's going to happen to Daryl, is it?
Daryl doesn't make it to the end of the song, guys. Spoiler alert.
Oh, no.
They send him to the guillotine like an Alice Cooper show or something like that? Or...
They kicked him out and sent him to Red River College to take journalism.
There you go, yeah.
Big Elvis Costello vibe with the change in the keyboard sound there.
Whatever that kind of like the Elvis Costello, that Vox keyboard probably that has the black keys or the white should be, and vice versa. That late 70s sound.
That's what you're hearing there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and even vocally, Elvis Costello has.
There's another
a little
one.
bit of that. Yeah.
He had that kind of that snotty, nerdy delivery.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great point.
It's almost like Pong.
A little bit. Yeah.
The late 70s video game breakdown.
That's cool. I
Very
like that.
much so, absolutely.
Yeah. Even the second keyboard was like that wavy sound, like a that's part of Pong too.
It's a great point too that you guys have been making, is that this is kind of a amalgamation of all late 70s, early 80s sounds, from the disco influence, the real funky bass line, the Elvis Costello style keyboard sound,
the new
combined
wave,
with Pong new wave style sound. Yeah, it's really cool.
Some Cars influence going on.
Yeah.
Is this
snotty
how,
type vocal.
Yeah.
Is this how a lot of their music is, or they kind of have a few different styles that they tap into on different?
It's all like this. Like I said, there's a song called Action you guys should check out. A song called Hollywood is amazing. It's all just driving, catchy rock and roll. All 5 guys sing. You can hear the harmonies in there. Just a great late 70s, early 80s rock band, as most of them were at that time frame from Canada or America, in that if you were in a rock band, you had to be able to play and you had to be able to sing.
Right.
I don't care if you're a fucking drummer. You better be able to sing, because those guys would do 4 or 5 part harmonies.
Yeah.
Right. And maybe that's why you don't always get the best looking people in some of these bands, because they're not looking at the headshot. They're,
And that's the thing. If I showed you a picture of Kenny Shields, you'd look at him and go, ooh, he's kind of an uglier version of Tom Petty, so to speak. But fuck it, man. He had the vocals. He could write songs, and you kind of look past that aesthetic point and just look at him as a great artist.
And you should. I mean, as long as what they're doing is good. He's not a model. He's a singer. So.
Well, another guy that just popped into my mind that had that same aesthetic around this time, maybe a little bit later, but Donnie Iris, with a known in Canada.
Who's Donnie Iris? I don't know that.
Never heard of Aaliyah? You've heard that song before, haven't you?
The girl that married R. Kelly?
No.
I think you've made that joke before, actually. You have.
No wonder it came out so easily.
It's actually a pretty good picture, Kenny, but that's kind of what he looks like.
It kind of looks like Rod Stewart a little bit.
Yeah, I see Rod Stewart.
Rod Stewart, a little bit. But
actually, you know who he looks like in that picture? Put it back up real quick. He looks like in Robin Hood Men in Tights, when Robin Hood's disguised and he's at the arrow competition. And then he pulls off his hat and his nose. And
Okay.
And it's...
Kenny Shields.
It's Enrico Palazzo.
All right.
Exactly.
Okay. Cool. I didn't know I made that joke. I apologize.
No,
but who's Donnie Iris? Aaliyah was the singer was Donnie Iris.
Like
and
then the girl's name Leah.
Exclamation point Leah.
Oh,
It's a classic rock staple. But
sure
he was the band was named after him. I think it was Donnie Iris and the something, but they stripped that away. But he had the Elvis Costello nerd glasses and was not a particularly attractive man in the Rick Ocasek style.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
although Rick Ocasek still was able to bang Paulina Porzakova, which ain't a bad thing.
Yeah, he did pretty well for himself. So just goes to show you, if you got talent and a little bit of charisma, whether it be odd or irresistible, you're in a good shape.
Yeah, if you're in a rock and roll band, you're going to
that
pick
helps.
Up some chicks.
Never hurts.
Yeah.
This is Daryl. He didn't pick up a lot of chicks.
Oh, that was Daryl. Okay.
See the receding hairline with that little thing up top there.
I'm Team Daryl.
Nick's gonna wear a Team Daryl shirt next week.
I'll bet he got his share. His look was of the time. He wasn't the first or second choice, but he got his share.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look cool. Like you said, they look cool for a 1979 rock and roll band,
Yeah.
I mean, Poroskova would have definitely preferred to have banged Benjamin Orr, but for whatever reason, she settled for Rick Ocasek. Certainly
Rick
enough.
Ocasek is the lead singer. The lead singer's always got the charisma.
Yeah, but Ben Orr was the co-lead singer, so I mean, there was a lot of competition there.
That's true. At least she didn't go after Elliot Easton.
Well, I was about to say she didn't dip as low as Greg Hawkes, the keyboardist.
That's what I was searching for when Elliot Easton came to mind first.
Greg Hawkes is number 5 on the list of which member of the Cars would you fuck.
505.
He's way down. He's a distant 5. Put it that way.
He's somewhere after crew members.
Paulina Porzakova played a game of kill, fucking marry, and we know who she married, and we know who she killed. We're not sure who she fucked though.
Well, she found Rick Ocasek dead, so maybe he fit all 3 categories for her.
She said fuck, marry, and kill, and she said Rick Ocasek, done.
Yeah, that death has remained unsolved. She just conveniently found him with a divorce in the works.
And is there an investigation?
No, I don't know.
No.
Not that I know of, but to me, those are mysterious circumstances. If I was a New York City detective, I'd be on that case.
Yeah, we need to get someone who's really pays meticulous attention to detail, kind of like Daryl in this song.
Yeah. Maybe
Daryl's
Daryl
our
became a
hero.
detective. Who knows? Let's find him.
He might be available.
Get the answers. How convenient. She found him dead. High-profile divorce in the works. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You got to at least look into that. You can't just take her word for it.
All right,
Very fishy.
let's continue this breakdown.
See, this is the point of the song when that blast of nose whiskey you took about 3 minutes ago is kicking in, and the things are swirling around in your head, and you're just like, this is the best thing ever. This is the greatest night of my life. And you're just, this is exactly for people who are in that headspace.
And I'm
Perfectly
hearing a bit of
executed.
Funky Town there. That
There you go. There's another one, yeah.
Good one, yeah.
That's a good live breakdown. I would assume that at the show, the lead singer is saying something. Yell, the name of the city. Let's hear it. Wherever,
Yeah,
Saskatoon
right.
or
All right.
whatever. Yeah. Let me hear you, Medicine Hat.
Yeah, exactly. This is when he's telling his own ice machine story.
Like, hey, I saw you in the locker room at the community college.
I saw
Getting
you
dressed.
at Tim Hortons
Tim
getting
Horton.
Timbits.
This is when it's all happening on the dance floor. There's dry grinding going on. It's absolute sexual mayhem in a discotheque at this point. The swirling lights, everything. It's a fucking orgy at that point. Do I need to say it, Tush? The very definition of Bacchanalia. This is the soundtrack.
The very definition of Canadian late 70s Bacchanalia.
Absolutely. Well,
And all orchestrated by Daryl.
Yeah, and when we were going over there, when I turned 19, so it was 1985, so it was a little bit past this window, but it was still, mid 80s, so all sorts of pretty good music going on. These clubs were the place to be. We couldn't wait to get over there, man, and just fucking prowl around and see what kind of trouble we could get into. We were insane in those days.
And the best part, you always knew that, Andy, can you take the guy in the studio and put him up there? You always knew that Daryl was going to be there for you.
Oh yeah,
There he is.
Oh, yeah, Daryl was everybody's wingman at the club that night.
yeah. He had the stash going, which also Greg Hawkes rocked a stash around the time of the first album. So these guys were cut from the same cloth.
All right, you get
question
rid of him. I
about
just
it.
thought you know, sure.
And he just put Daryl and not any of us on the screen.
We don't
anymore.
need to be on here.
No, this guy's getting the spotlight across the board because he deserves it.
Spotlight after all these years.
All right, let's continue. Oh, I was going to say one thing. Chris L. I don't know. I would have been, let's see, like 03, 04 was when I started going to bars. And I feel like I missed out on some of the
You did
memories.
miss out.
Yeah, because it was like Ludacris.
No,
the rapper.
Yeah.
The clubs, quote unquote, in the mid '80s,
Yeah.
right when we started going there, was right at the tail end of it. But man, people went there straight up to party and get laid. And it was
No one
great.
did any fun when I went anywhere. It was nothing.
When I started wrestling, I got a job as a bouncer. So because the boss was a wrestling fan. He'd give me, I need next weekend off because I have a gig, or I need 3 weeks off to go to Japan. No problem. It was 91 to about 92 or 3. I never met so many girls in my life. They came out to fucking hang out, and because I was the bouncer in charge, dude, fish in a fucking barrel, man. I had more chicks than Daryl.
Daryl levels of female attention going on. That's the new measuring stick. Daryl levels of female
Got a new
attention.
character on Pot of Thunder, Daryl Streetheart.
And that's the other thing. I'm telling you, this song is just transporting me back to those clubs in Windsor, and it's like the bands. They were all great musicians. They'd go into these breakdowns to extend their sets, and the people were into it. They appreciated it. The guitar player coming out with this, you knew he was going to get laid that night. By coming out with this in the middle of a song, he was just the king of the room doing this stuff.
But the vibe never changes. That's why it's not like some kind of a weird Fish or Grateful Dead when they'll go off to different tempos and shit. This just keep the groove, and it just that's why a chick will dance to a 2.5 minute breakdown, because the beat keeps going and it's still fucking cool, Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What do you think of that guitar solo, Chris? I know you're a fan of tasteful guitar solos.
Oh, I think it's great. If anything, it's kind of buried. Daryl is pushing the guy back aside as he charges back to the front of the mix. It's like, hey, Daryl, cool it, man. I'm still soloing here.
Daryl had the reputation of standing over the engineer's shoulder.
Well, exactly. But that, like, when you're on stage and you sense this is happening, this is when you, as a guitar player, you go over to Daryl's spot on the stage. You get right in his ear. It's like, hey, man, I'm still soloing here. Back it up a little. It's dynamics, please.
Daryl invented a keyboard stand on wheels so he could roll it in front of the guitar player.
Exactly.
You can roll it away from you as you're trying to talk to him.
That's like
I love how Daryl has become the hero and the villain of this piece.
Oh yeah, and that's between sets. It's like the guitar player and Daryl have a little confrontation. It's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
It's my spotlight, man.
He had some kind of telescoping rod with a spotlight on him attached to it.
Exactly. Like those things they wheel around at wedding receptions where the fucking videographer has a huge floodlight on wheels. He's going around the room. It's like, get away from me with that.
It's like a dentist chair. He can adjust it, pull it over.
Exactly right. Yeah. It's like, get away from me with that floodlight. I'm here trying to enjoy my Salisbury steak at this wedding reception. I don't want to feel like I'm in an interrogation room right now. Get the hell away from me with that.
Yeah, you're stuffing your face in a dark room. You feel secure, and then the guy comes with a giant floodlight and shines it at you.
Yeah, to shoot a video that nobody's going to fucking watch ever. I mean, get out of here with that. What a worthless profession.
Okay, so, we're talking about Daryl and the guitar player, and now another member of the band gets a little bit of a spotlight in this next section.
Uh-oh.
Okay, good. Yeah, the bass player, everybody's just... me as a guitar player, I'm cracking up over here because if I was in this situation, I'd be like looking around the whole stage like, what the fuck are you guys doing,
Am I even here?
This is my solo here. What the fuck?
A fucking solo now.
Yeah, it's like, you're hearing this in the monitor. You're like, is this coming through the front of the house? God damn, what the... this is not what we rehearsed.
On the Rick and Fozzy record, we had a song called "To Kill a Stranger," and right before the break, there's a little bit of a note hold, and I held it like obnoxiously long for like 10 seconds, right over the solo. And I remember Rich just goes, "Stop! Don't ever hold the screen at the top of my solo ever again. You got it?" And I'm like, "I got it." Fucking years later, whenever there's a solo, I go.
So no singing along to the solo.
No padding over the solo, none of that stuff.
Get the fuck out of my solo. As I'm speaking as a guitar player here. None of Daryl's banging on the piano patch on his keyboard, and then get Entwistle over here. Like, come on, dude. This is me. This is my chance to get laid. Daryl will get laid anyway. Okay, I need this
during the
now.
song, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Under the keyboard, there's somebody filleting him while he's doing all this. It's like
filleting him, Commandant Lassard style.
Yeah, exactly right. It's like, just lay back, guys. Jesus.
And musically, just because it seems like throughout the song we've been identifying all these different keyboard sounds. It hasn't just been one consistent sound.
Right.
It sounded just like he was playing "It's My Life" by Billy Joel during that solo section. It sounded just like it.
Good call.
Okay.
Good call.
The drummer's getting in on it too.
The people dancing aren't the only ones who've had their shot of nose whiskey. Jaco Pastorius over here certainly indulged before he got on stage. It's like I'm just cracking up at this because I'm transported on stage, giving the dirt eye across the stage to the bass player who's just like totally wank, and it's like, dude, I'm still soloing
and
over here.
The vocalist is the only one who's not stepping on anything currently.
Right, like you said, now even the drummer's doing a double bass part here, and it's just it's really cool. Once you've heard the song a few times, it builds. It's like you said, it's a great breakdown that builds this huge fucking and then when it hits, and then you'll see what happens after that. But I think they wanted chaos. Yeah. And they got it. It's a classic moment in Canadian rock and roll.
Yeah, and I'm loving everything you said, but again, as a guitar player like Rich and Fozzy, it's like, dude, I'm soloing here. Lay back, okay?
I almost feel like, when he was soloing and then Daryl is like, come on, Daryl, and then fucking Spider that starts the bass player. I think when the drummer starts going, I envision him looking back and going, "You too? Seriously?"
That sounds to me like a mob mentality where you've got a couple of people misbehaving and then somebody who is kind of on the fence about it. All right, I'm doing it now. Like it must be okay
if everyone else is doing it.
Yeah.
The post-mortem the next time you're in the rehearsal room is it gets tense after something like this.
It's great.
Wait a minute.
What a fucking powerful moment there. Like, I think that's another reason why Streetheart appeals to me so much. It's not only just great rock and roll, there's some very metallic, heavy moments. And when it went to that digga 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 bow, doom, da da bow, like that's as powerful as fucking Electric Eye, Judas Priest or something, It's very, very like you said,
Go ahead. Sorry.
Just say they wanted a chaotic fucking crescendo, and when it got there, it was just like boom. Boom!
It's a little more of an unhinged version of that UFO song we analyzed a few weeks back. Just that middle section, lots going on, interesting arrangement. But these guys are definitely a little more off the rails than that, and it's a good thing.
Now, a song. Now we're talking about like all the chaos, and then suddenly it comes together. A song I always think of with that, and anytime I hear it, I can never get the timing right in my head. Oh, it's gonna change here. It's gonna come together here. I always get it wrong. Is Magic Carpet Ride, where it just goes right back into the chorus. Like somehow they all knew. They must have all been counting amid all the chaos that led up to it.
Yeah.
And Light My Fire is like that too, isn't it?
Yep, that's another one. Yeah, back in the day when these kind of instrumental breakdowns were appreciated in a pop context.
Absolutely, like a radio context for sure.
Yep. I'm just gonna be that guy again, but when the dynamics go back, this is when you go back over to Daryl and you're like, "What the fuck, man?" It's like, I'm not letting this go. What the fuck did you just do there? You know,
Turn it down.
Like there's tension on stage, but you're still professionals. You're keeping it going.
Try to play the fucking song. What?
Yeah. Hey, get away from me, man.
Playing what?
Wait till set break to discuss this shit. Come on.
What's the guitar player's name? Spider?
No, that's a
A
bass player.
Spider,
Oh, it's bass player. Okay.
Spider now is actually in Loverboy after their bass player got lost at sea.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
He ended up in Davy Jones's locker.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you've seen Loverboy at any show over the last 10 years or so, the bass player is Spider.
That's interesting.
No kidding.
Okay.
I was going to say the guitar player pulled a Nick and unplugged his guitar and rolled it off stage while the band was still playing.
Yeah.
Nick once did that.
I witnessed it.
Chris witnessed
I was
it. It
there.
happened.
Incredible.
And that's when you just had enough and you don't care what the audience thinks.
Yeah.
We used to have a bass player called Sean Delson back in 2005 to 2010, that era of Fozzy. And when we finished our show, when you're doing the bow, he would never be there because he would always be in the shower by the time we walked off the stage. He would just fucking, thank you, good night, fuck off. We do where the fuck did he go? He's in the shower. Like instantly. Like, really? You can't even take a bow? I want to be the first in the shower. Like, no, you got to stay on stage to take a bow.
Is that a thing that there's an advantage to being the first in the shower?
Apparently. I don't
Okay.
know. I had to throw it on my leader of the band. Like, no, you're staying on fucking stage and you're taking a bow and you're not wearing a watch on stage anymore and no baseball caps.
While we're at it,
Yeah. I've got some additional
that
items.
the swatch is gone.
Felix the Cat watch. Leave it.
And no blue jean Levi's. No Levi's on stage. Not allowed.
You got to have those rules. You absolutely have to have those rules.
You do, man.
Yeah.
Those guys will get lazy on you if you don't.
It's the Paul Inca thing.
It is.
You got to have
whole thing,
professional
yeah.
standards.
There's
is
got to
what
be
it is.
something there's got to be at least a bare minimum. Just like
You got to
Inca
look
was
like a
talking
star,
about.
man. It's show business.
Yeah, that's true. They don't want to go see everyone.
They don't want to see me up there.
So I was going to say, the crowd
My
doesn't want to see
brown polo
themselves
shirt.
on stage, right?
Yeah, you want to project yourself onto Daryl, being like, I don't want to be me. I want to be Daryl.
Yeah.
Let him be your prism.
I want to
Exactly.
take home a little bit of Daryl and take that to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Be a new man.
Yeah, Daryl.
Is there any other rock stars named Daryl?
Daryl Hall.
Daryl Abbott. Come on now.
there you go.
Well, there you go.
Which, who, by the way, is one of the people. Sad to say, but it must be said. These are the guys who advocated the fucking shorts and ankle socks on stage. That's no good, man.
That's no good.
How much cooler they would have been if they just wore black jeans. No shorts on stage ever, unless you're Freddie Mercury and.
No shorts. And you see Iron Maiden to this day, Steve wears shorts on
Yeah.
stage. I'm like, dude, just put on a pair of black jeans.
Yeah, it has to. It can't.
Cool, you're slim, you got great hair. Get rid of the shorts.
He doesn't.
Great.
He doesn't bust out the black and white stripe spandex any longer.
Regrettably, no.
He could probably fit in them. There's no reason not to.
Yeah, he does seem like he hasn't gained any weight somehow.
Yeah.
It's one of those guys. What is he?
those guys.
He's got to be what, mid 60s?
62, 63
63?
at this point.
He's
Yeah.
probably footballing every moment he gets.
That's
so.
true. Let's keep going. We got about one
Can't
more
wait
minute.
to be done with this show so I can go footballing later.
That is funny when you hear guys from huge bands and you hear like, oh yeah, that while we're doing these shows, that's what they're thinking about. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna go get some food, like whatever, or we're gonna play football, whatever it is, like it's not the show with 20,000 people because they've done that every night for 30 years. It's like, oh, we're gonna go get sushi after this.
There must
That's
be
what
a
they're thinking about the whole time.
There must be a level of cruise control
Yeah,
that certain guys go into.
I can tell you even from my own experience, when you're learning a song, what I mean by that is when a new record comes out and you put like 5 songs into the set or whatever, 5 new ones, those you really got to pay attention. You got to make sure you're doing it right. You got to concentrate. When we're playing a song like for us, like a song like Sin and Bones, for example, which we've been playing for fucking 10 years or Enemy for 15 years, that's when you can start thinking like, I got laundry I got to do, or fucking, geez, we're going to have a burger after the show. And you're singing while you're doing it, but you're not thinking about it. That's kind of when you know the song.
Thinking about how you're going to be the first guy in the shower after the set. It's like, okay, as soon as that last chord is hit, I'm going to set the guitar down. I'm going to run into that shower. Nobody's beating me to it tonight.
If I push down that stack of boxes behind me, they won't be able to get through the hallway. They'll have to go back around the other way. I'll have the shower to myself. Yeah. All right, about one more minute. Here we go.
This is the slow dance portion, I'm assuming. I mean, because I'm thinking because we keep talking about it, all the different rhythms and things going on. This is you just stare at each other's faces.
Well, this is clearly after the men on the dance floor have ejaculated already. And it's just
but Chris, that's exactly what I was thinking. This is the smoke the cigarette after that giant climax at the end. Bow, and it's like they fucking take you out on a nice little trip. After they punch you in the face with this crazy, unbelievable, powerful fucking musical part, and then this is the cool vibe. And I think this is another reason why I love this song so much, because it gives you some time to just enjoy it after this fucking, oh my god, like you said, you shoot your wad and you just lay back and have a drink or a smoke or whatever it is you want to do.
There you go. Something else that's indicative of post-orgasm behavior by most men, just this incoherent mumbling, the nonsensical, even if it takes on. It's like, what are you talking about?
Slowly fading out of consciousness here,
exactly.
just like the song.
Just like eyes rolling back in the head, trying to speak. It's like, just
And the original Stones song doesn't have this part in the arrangement, does it?
I don't think so. I think I love it. I don't recognize that.
Yeah. Even if it takes some time. Yeah, I don't think they have that in there. So they kind of that's what I like about it. It's a cover, but they actually kind of wrote their own song surrounding the cover.
Yeah. No, I mean that's the best covers are the ones that have a little bit of your personality and you inject a little something to it.
Yeah.
Just a few more seconds as it fades out. Some heavy breathing.
Daryl.
I really hope there's some Coke in the fridge right now. If there's some pizza left from last night, I could use some right now.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, that was
nice.
The Majesty of My Thumb by Streetheart.
That was excellent. So, all right. Here we go. It's time for us to vote. Ooh, what's it going to be? Sweet Surrender or Kick in the Crotch? Chris Jericho, you brought this song to us, so you vote first.
You don't bring a song that you don't like to the table, so absolutely 1,000% Sweet Surrender.
It's Sweet Surrender.
Daryl.
Once again, just a great tune that I grew up with. Watching you guys enjoy it, hopefully, was very cool for me. And glad that I was able to kind of give Streetheart a little bit of much-deserved recognition, hopefully in the States. But everything about it, the arrangement, the vocal, everybody's a star on this song, which is very rare. Every guy in the band got a chance to show off, even with the drums. Like the beginning drum, don't chomp, like everybody had something cool. And definitely my favorite Streetheart song. I probably listen to this song at least once or twice a week. No joke. I put it on all the fucking time. When I'm outside in the pool,
I believe it.
I always put on some Canadian rock and roll, and this is always the first song that goes. So thumbs up all the way.
Chris L.
Yeah, I'm sweet surrendering this for big time.
It's sweet surrender. Hell yes.
The source material is incredible. Their individual twist they put on it is great. But the best thing for me is the two ways it transported me back in time. One, to those meat market clubs in Windsor, Ontario in the mid-'80s. And then back to my own forays into music where somebody was shitting all over my solo. And I found myself on stage just being like, what the fuck, dude? Lay back, man. It's the way it transported me back to those two things. Priceless. Love it.
Nick?
I will also give it a sweet surrender.
It's sweet surrender. Hell yes.
I at first, like, just the title of it. Okay, admittedly, I'm not a huge Stones fan, but the title of it, I'm like, okay, I don't know if I know this one. But then as soon as I heard the title sung, I'm like, okay, I've heard this one. Not being terribly familiar with it, where I can really recount the differences. It didn't really matter, actually. I think I would assume, like you guys were saying, that they really, really twisted this and added their own stuff to it, where it really was their own song. And I thought it was great. I thought it the old cliche, it told a story, that's for sure. It went up, it went down. Everybody got their say, and I really liked it. I'm very curious to hear more from these guys. Never heard of them at all, so new discovery for me.
The thing I like about you, the only thing I like about you, Nick, the thing that I appreciate that you do is when you hear a band, a song that you're not familiar with the band, is you always go listen to other tunes. So, and the best thing about Streetheart is there's a couple great best of records that you can find on Spotify to check out. And I think you're going to like it. If you like the song, most of the songs are in this same vibe.
Yeah, I will check that out. A couple of bands you've turned me on to personally. So
there you go, man. Thank you.
What was that one? Was it Barren Cross?
Barren Cross is one, and
no, but you guys talked about it.
Oh yeah, well you did an episode on Talk is Jericho about it, and then I texted you about it and saying I never heard of these guys, but they're awesome. Yeah,
man, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, it's time for a clean sweep.
Woo! It's sweet surrender. Hell yes.
Daryl. Like Chris L. said, the source material is great, but that could also be a curse for a cover song. Just because the source material is great, it could go either direction. It could be, oh God, this is terrible compared to the original, or hey, this is great, or this is exactly the same as the original. It could be a variety of things. It could be as good as this was, or it could be any cover that Disturbed has ever done, which is awful.
The worst band ever.
So there you go. So, that being said, very enjoyable. What else can you say about this cover that hasn't already been said? But
I think this is one of those rare covers where it's better than the original. And the other one that comes to mind instantly is You Really Got Me, Van Halen. Like, if you're going to listen to that song, you want to hear Van Halen's version. Mm-hmm. My thumb from now on, you guys are going to want to hear this version.
Mm-hmm. Well, the only other cover of this song that I know of is by Social Distortion, and that's pretty damn good, but I would have to give the edge to this one.
Well, Social Distortion probably has no instrumentation like this.
No,
it's just
a
straightforward.
full four on the floor.
What other covers are there that are better than the originals? I'm sure there's a few. I can't seem to think of any right now.
Well, the first one that comes to mind always is All Along the Watchtower, Hendrix.
Oh, great
He
call.
totally made it his own completely.
Excellent call. That's a great call.
That's a good one. But like we said, it must come from a live performance perspective to, like Chris was saying, like these bar bands that made it to the next level, where at the show, you're all having your solo part live to show off, and it kind of translated all into this song. Maybe this was like the climax of their show where they all had a solo in it or something. But
No doubt about it. I'm sure they played this song in the bars and they extended it because somebody came up with a cool idea during rehearsal, and then it became what it is, as great songs do, just coming from just being together in a room and playing it.
So if you're recommending some listening of Streetheart to our listeners, what would you recommend? Like, people want to hear more after hearing this. What would you say to start with?
I am going. Are you talking about just actual songs?
Songs or
album?
an album, whatever it is. Just, hey, sell me on this band. I like this. What else do they have?
I am just going on Spotify right now to see if it's on there so I can lead you guys in the right direction. So, yes, Streetheart. If you go to Streetheart on Spotify, there's a album called Life, Legacy, and Music, and it's their greatest hits record. And if you just want to hear another song right now, Action, Tin Soldier, Miss Plaza Suite, Snow White. I mean, fuck, dude, I can't even tell you how many great songs. Hollywood. Just go check out that greatest hits album, Life, Legacy, and Music. It's got a black cover, and I guarantee it'll be the quickest listen ever because every song on it is awesome.
Okay. There you go. Hollywood is the opening track on this album. So there you go.
Yeah, great tune.
Cool.
So wait a second. Is this Hollywood is on this record?
Yeah. I'm looking at it right now. It's track 1. Hollywood, Whose Turn Is It Tonight? That's a good title. Here Comes the Night, Main Street, Star, Under My Thumb, Fight to Survive, Baby's Got a Gun.
If this is, I'm trying to find the set list right here. So Hollywood is on this. So that was Paul Dean on guitar. This is the version. This is the band. Paul Dean is on guitar there, and Matt Furnette's on drums. So I wasn't aware this was from their first record. So there you go. This is the original Streetheart with the dudes from Loverboy in it.
Okay, wow. Very cool. Well, guys, guess what? It's that time. Oh.
All right, Hammond, I got a question for you.
Paul Stanley needs to know if this cover of Under My Thumb is a rock and roll boner classic as voted by the 4 rock and roll boners here today. One coming to us from Jacksonville.
Live from Jacksonville. I have my vote.
All right. Looks like Chris Al's tabulating some statistics over there. He's got a formula. Times blank equals X divided by. And
he still can't get over the fact that the fucking keyboards and bass player played over the solo. That's still bugging him.
Still mad about that solo.
Yeah. Lay back. Have you ever heard the dynamics? Use some. I'm soloing here. Jesus.
I just love the keyboard player. I love Daryl feigning deafness when you come over to tell him, I can't hear you. I'm playing the song, dude. Tell me later.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's using his free hand to roll the fader up so his keyboard's louder.
Yeah. Set break. Set break. Set break.
Nick,
my vote's in.
Nick, is your vote in?
Yeah, my vote's in.
Interesting.
This is going for a cookie.
You have cookies today. I didn't even notice.
I'm
Nick
preparing to celebrate a possible seismic moment here.
All right, well, let's build this suspense for another second. All right, that's enough. What's the order going to be?
I'll go first.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go second.
Tooge, L, Garlic,
Sure.
Brother. Okay. All right.
Rock.
And
Roll.
Boner!
It's a rockin' ball, yeah. Are you kidding me? Who do you think you are? I am. Get it right.
Who sang that? Is that you?
That's
Andy,
Nick.
or is that Nick?
That's Nick. Yeah.
Oh, Nick. So true. This is great. When's the last time you guys had a
while.
make
Been
it
a
to
while.
It has.
Which one?
It's been. I'd have to look at the list.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Let me see. I think I could tell you.
We kept shooting them down.
It's the first one I've been involved in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe if ever.
No.
Turn on the Night be a Kiss classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely was. No. Was Chicken Foot a classic? No. I guess not.
That song was a fucking mess, by the way. Oh my god.
That was one of my favorites of recent memory.
Chris was on fire that night. I was howling.
He was. What about Here I Go Again? Was that original version? Did we call that a classic?
I don't know if we did.
White Snake? Maybe.
Don't know. It's been a while.
Well, we got one today.
Well, we got one today. That's what's important.
You want a celebratory cookie, Andy?
I would
It's
love
cool
one.
that a song that you've never heard before by a band you never heard
Yeah.
before made it all the way through to the classic round. So
And
it's
it
very
opens
cool.
a whole new
Yeah.
door of music.
Yeah, and that's
So-
beautiful. That's what we love that on the show. New discoveries. You
Yeah.
know, there's so much great music put out that you can't possibly get to it all.
Yeah.
And so you get exposed to new stuff that's not new. It's decades old, but it's a new discovery because you've never heard it.
Anybody that I've ever turned Streetheart onto that actually listened to them loves them. Like, it's not hard to get into. It's very, like I said, every tune is like, this is really fucking cool. So once again, when you discover this band, if you guys choose to take it further, just keep in mind how fucked they got by the music business with this amount of material that they had, you know?
Yeah.
You had me at Loverboy lineage, basically. You got that connection. I'm good. I'm in.
All right, well, let's rubber stamp it. You don't disagree with us, but if for some reason you do,
That's just the fucking way it is.
deal with it. It's your problem. Hey, we've got something. We've got some fun production here. This was sent to us by our friend Dave Burke.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So, and I think Chris Jericho will enjoy this too. So let's check this out.
You guys ever have an experience where you are in like a clutch moment? Have somebody there that's like your wheelman, and the guy just turns out to be a total fucking Duclaw. A total waste of skin and life. That was my guitar tech tonight, and I fired his ass, and I apologize to the people here in Brisbane. We'll make it up to you sometime. I mean, maybe it'll be in Hawaii when we go out this fat pig's ass. But I'll tell you what, you guys deserve way better than this jerk-off did tonight. I'm sorry.
There it is.
I love how he delivers that statement with such vitriol that it actually sounds like he's singing lyrics.
Yeah, it could work in a song for sure.
It almost works. Yeah, it's that good.
I'm wondering if this poor guitar tech was a native of Australia that was just a local, or if when he fired his ass, if the guy had to buy his own flight back to the States and all that sort of shit.
Oh man, that'd be the worst. I remember when this first came out. I can't remember the guy's name, but Dave Mustaine had this long-time guitar tech, and we found out it was not that guy. It was like it might have been a local. It was a substitute of some sort, so it might have just been a local.
He wouldn't talk like that about somebody that he was worked with for a long time. At least you hope he wouldn't.
Right? Yeah. So there you have it. Are you up for a Yardo questions?
I got to split, guys. I got to go to this football game in a bit. So if you guys want to continue on, I'll just drop out here.
Well, you know what? That's fine. But before we do that, I just want to say, for all three of us, that we cherished this time with you.
We
today.
cherish this. Was I drunk when I wrote that? Was that late at night, or did I just not have
I think
the
you
right
were stone
word?
sober when that came up.
I'd like to think you were stone sober because it makes. I want it to be genuine and sincere, and the fact that
I cherish times.
Yeah.
Yeah. All I know is I got a screen grab of that text to keep forever and possibly use to my advantage at some point.
Well, let's enjoy the moment here.
Let's just take a deep breath.
You should keep that video that I fucking sent you.
We should
Cherish the podcast. Cherish the love. Cherish the love. Cherish the love.
There it is.
We get Daryl on piano there.
All right. Well, we appreciate having you and taking some time to hang with us.
Yeah,
And
I for one vote for
next
not.
time I'm back at Jacksonville with a day off, I'll podcast booty call you again.
Please do.
And I say we end the episode here. We can't continue on after Tooge rides off into the sunset.
We don't.
I'm not
hour
in the
and
mood
a half
for
is a good length for a podcast.
Absolutely.
I think
Perfect.
you start getting in the 2-hour mark, it's Joe Rogan territory.
Yeah.
It's too long.
We don't need that.
Agree.
Hey, maybe you can come back sometime in October because we may or may not have another themed month, so we'll see.
I'll be back.
All right.
Whenever you need, I'll be back.
All right.
All right, guys. Thank you very
right.
much. Life, legacy, and music.
I'm
Streetheart.
in.
Go check it out. And if you like them, tweet me at I am Jericho and let me know, and I'll forward that over to my Winnipeg Streetheart contingency.
Yes. All right. We'll be back
Absolutely. All right.
next week. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Time for a baked treat. Baked treat.
Oh, that's beautiful.